See, so what is that React.js and why it is important nowadays? In every interview, they're expecting the questions on React.js. Easy introduction, everyone can understand. The Java students can easily learn React.js. Why? I'll explain. Simple. See, React.js is a JavaScript framework. Front-end frameworks is called React.js. After completion of a JavaScript, we need to learn React.js. It's an open source library. Open source in the sense free, simply to say. See, React.js is used to build reusable UI components. Sir, what is that reusable UI components? Simple one. See here, component in the sense, in a beginning of HTML, I explained one thing. What is that? Suppose if I just write BR, break, how it is giving line break? How it is giving line break? Suppose whenever you are just writing HR slash, automatically how it is drawing horizontal line on the web page. Reason is simple. Behind every tag, there is a lot of code. We are just code is there here. So many lines of code is there. Sir, what is the code they have written? We don't know and we don't want. So once you define the code, if you want to execute this code, whenever you are writing the tag like this, automatically this code will execute. This is actually called reusability. This is component. Consider. This is component. Consider. If you want to reuse this component continuously, whenever you want, you can use it. Whenever you want, you can use it. Whenever you want, you can use it. Just if you write like this, it will execute. If you write like this, it will execute. That is simply called reusable component. Something you define by just calling wherever you can write. See, simply to say method is for reusability. Simply we are saying reusability. Suppose if you are writing prime number logic, prime n, inside a lot of code you will write. Whenever you want to use that one, you just call by just calling prime, checking prime or not, checking prime or not. What is this? Reusability. Instead of writing lot of code, write n number of times, simply we are reusing that code. By calling that, we are reusing that code. Is a simple one. Got it? That is. Now here, just to say, next one is React.js is a front-end library responsible for view layer only. View layer means what? HTML, CSS, JavaScript is responsible to perform client-side operations only. This is client. Is a server, is always Java and .NET. React.js is always responsible for front-end. Responsible for front-end, that is. Got it? Is a one. Next. Sir, React application. Sir, what is this React application? It is made up of multiple components. Let me explain that first. What is that multiple components? Whenever you are developing one application, Suppose this is one page. Normally, how a web page will be. This is header. Suppose here we are giving some information, phone numbers and all. This is header. This is footer for that web page. And this is like a left side bar. And this is a right side bar. Simply, we can say that this is in a web page title bar, and this we can call it as a header, and this we can call it as a footer, and this is a left side bar, and this is called a right side bar, like this. Okay, now when here we are just writing that web page content is a web page content we are writing, simply to say. Got it? Now, now here in ReactJS, how we are doing means what? This is one component. This is one component. This is one component. This is one component. This is one component, and this is one component. So we are designing the view like a web page as a collection of components. Collection of components. And one advantage is what? In ReactJS, suppose if you change the content of this one, only this will refresh, only this will affect. It will not disturb this, it will not disturb this, it will not disturb this, and it will not disturb this. Simply, what is the content, what is the area you are modifying in the web page, only that will refresh, only that will affect. So no need to load unnecessary contents every time whenever we are modifying the page. That is advantage. That is the advantage. So each React component output is a small reusable piece. Components are heart of React applications. ReactJS uses virtual DOM based mechanism. So first of all, we should know, sir, what is DOM? The first foremost question they will ask about React, what is DOM? What is this mechanism? Simple. Normally, suppose if there is a HTML page, here one paragraph is there, some content is there, content is a paragraph, and here one label is there. Suppose consider is a label. Suppose enter name, label is there. Okay, label. Like this, so many elements are there on the web page. What is DOM? Is a web page, na? Complete web page. Web page, they mentioned as a document object. Document means object. Web page. Web page is a document object. And this document object has so many methods. By using the methods, we can collect the data. Sir, I want to display the message. Document.write. Document.write hello. Document means web page, na? So that hello message will write onto the web page. Simply. Sir, here I am writing one text box. input type is equal to text, name is equal to some text box name I am giving user, something like this. Document dot get element by name. Suppose one method is there. Whenever you are passing this name, you will get the value of this one. Whatever they enter in the text box, you can collect. No, sir. For example, here I'm giving one paragraph. ID is equal to something like ABC. Something like ABC. And I'm not writing anything, make it empty. Simply, if you write a document dot inner HTML or something like ID equal to, if you write hello, then automatically this information will write in between the paragraph. Sir, I want to add one paragraph. You can add one paragraph. Sir, I want to remove one paragraph. You can remove. Why they introduced DOM means what? With the ability of DOM, document object model, JavaScript can do anything with web page. JavaScript, this is a web page, HTML page, can do anything. Getting the data, displaying the data, delete the contents, add the content, any operation. That is actually called DOM. Here, this one. Sir, I want to get document.id. By using the tag names also, we can give all the tag names and all, you will understand. Class names, content, you will add inner HTML. No, sir, directly I'll add some style. Any operation you can do. Not only this, so many are there. I just given only few. Only few. So document contains what? Hierarchy, if they write, easy. What is a hierarchy? Overall, we can say that document. Anchor is a separate tag. Link is a separate tag. Suppose is a form is there. Na? Form, so many are there. Text box, text area, checkbox, radio. Suppose select is there. Select again, sub option is there. Select is a sub option is there. So we can easily understand. We can easily understand like this. This is. Okay. Now, JavaScript can modify HTML elements and attributes, can modify CSS code, can add new HTML elements and remove existing elements, can react to HTML events, can create new events. Any operation we can do. Any operation we can do with this JavaScript. That is. Okay. Simply, this is the one. Simple example I am writing. Just to make you understand. One HTML code. Sorry. One HTML code. See H1 heading tag is there. H1. Okay, now. For this heading, I'm giving one ID. From the script, with the help of this ID, get element by ID name, I'm changing that color, CSS color. CSS. Just a simple example. Simple example. It's not showing. Advanced one. See. His color it is doing like this. Okay. Just to say any operation we can do. That is. Now, sir, how to set up that React? How to set up that React? What all the things we need to install also, I'll explain. First, we need to download and install this npm node package manager. That is Node.js we need to download. Node.js. I already told you in a Visual Studio Code, whenever I explain the things, we are executing with the npm only. If not yet installed, very easy. Just Node.js download. Node.js download. Directly Windows installer is there. Download, just installation. Once download completes, this one. Once download complete, just click on that one. Then installation will start. Just it is calculating that system resources available or not, everything it is checking. See, this setup wizard will install Node.js on your computer. Next, accept the license agreement. Next, in that program files Node.js. Next, automatically add the necessary tools. Install. That is, first of all, Node.js we need to install before we set up the React.js, because what all the necessary things will collect by this npm only. We can create with a all React applications will run with a Node only, Node.js only. It will take some time. After that, any location, suppose just take the D drive, open that D drive in a command prompt. Easy way. Just do it. Something which is already installed. So first it will remove that files which are already present, and then it is reinstalling. Is doing like this. Successfully installed, finish. Now, how can you create that first simple application? Just complete this. Done. Close it. Now, here it is, create a React with the name folder React in your D drive. Suppose in my D drive, if it is already there, no, it's not there. I'm creating one folder, new folder name is a React. I'm just creating the folder name is a React. Got it? Now, let's go to the D drive. Command prompt means what? You know, just here it is a search for run or command prompt directly. First run, then cmd will open the command prompt. Now, how to go to the D drive, sir? D colon enter. Now we are in D drive. We are in D drive. Now change to that in D drive React we created na? CD change directory to React. Now we are in React folder. using npm node package manager, initializing that React app using that folder called ReactJS. When we are writing this one, automatically what all the things required, what all the required things, it will ask. Create React app, just say yes, and then it will collect all the things and it will install the first. Taking so much time, but how to create and all, I'll explain. Okay, is a completed. Correct. See here now, once it is done, once it is completed, if you go there in React.js folder will come, because we have given the name with all packages included. All. Here you can see that source files and everything. App.js, here only we can write the code. I'll explain. And everything we will mention from the index.js. This thing also I'll explain clearly. But now how can we execute this one? directly you can execute this, or you can load from the Visual Studio Code. Open Visual Studio Code, open React folder from Visual Studio Code. If directly is there, just right click, open with option if it is showing that is a Visual Studio. For few people directly it will show that Visual Studio Code. If it is showing, then you can change it, or else directly open that Visual Studio Code. Once you open, then open that React folder. Is the left side, it will give the options. Left side, it will give the options here. No folder opened yet. Open folder. Go to that location, D drive, React, select folder. Then just it will refresh and it will show. ReactJS will come. Here in a source, all files it will show. Here we write the code initially. We start from app.js. This is the one. It will show some logo, some predefined is there. So how can we start the server? Node.js is nothing but node is the server where we are executing the code. Go to the terminal. New terminal is there. New terminal. Whenever you click on new terminal, it will give that path. Just wait, it will come. React. But we are in React.js now. Go to that CD React.js. Now we are in folder React.js. Simply to say npm start. It automatically starts the server and it will open the web page. Open the web page, and on the web page it will display this information. Starting that development server. See, by default, the port number is a 3000 in localhost. It will open that at port number is a 3000. At port number is a 3000. It will show that information. Whatever the content here is there, this information logic will display here. Just wait, it is taking some time. This is the one. Just image scrolling, app.js and everything. If you want to add some code anywhere, you just add the code in place of learn React or any location. That is also I mentioned very clearly. Step by step I have created. Start the terminal, go to React.js, npm start. It will show that something if you want to add in this one, just in place of this learn React. I'm giving this welcome to Amritsar Technologies. Simply I'm giving this one. Just whenever you save it, compiled successfully, just save Control S, then automatically it will change. See, instant reaction. No need to run it again and again. If you modify, then automatically it will change. When you modify, then automatically it will change. See, suppose I'm doing like this. Just wait. Suppose here I'm writing. Just welcome to Amirpet. Just whenever it is successfully saved, then it will change here. Instant reaction, it will show. Is the simple one. Today, everyone just create this setup. From tomorrow onwards, what are the components, class components, functional components, everything. Along with this, all the JavaScript related concepts I'll explain so that parallelly we can learn both. Okay, you can leave. Right. So what we have discussed in the last session, inside the functional component, how can you define a local variable? And just how can we render that local variable with a small message I explained. Okay. CD React JS and PM start. Let it run parallelly. Now here it is. How can we create different types of local variables? So not only just a single value variable. How can you work with an array? Array is nothing but list here. How can we display in different ways? I'll explain. See, the first one is I'm just creating one array variable, but don't say it's an array. We can say that it's a list. How can we specify the list? Using square brackets. Any number of values you can specify 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Some values we are storing. Now I just want to display. Sir, how can we display? Like in the form of list, we need to display. List. List means either ordered list or unordered list. Suppose here it is unordered list we are taking. Unordered list. Unordered list. List elements are list element one by one, ARR of 0, ARR of 1, ARR of 2, like this. Total 5 elements are there. 5 times we are writing. ARR of 1, ARR of 2, ARR of 3, ARR of 4. One by one. Of course, actually, we should not display array elements like that. Simply, we need to go with the iterator. Okay. So I'm executing this. Just I'm compiling. And once it is saved successfully, then automatically it will render. That rendered information we'll see. Is a easy way. Is a old one. Now it is rendering. Successfully rendered. See a list elements it is printing. Instead of unordered list, suppose if you make OL, ordered list means what? Then it will give like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just numbering it will give. But sir, actually it is not the correct way of displaying. Yes, it is not the correct way. It is not the correct way. There is a predefined function called array dot for each. For each function is there. Syntax for each function is there. So what it will do actually? From this array, every element will collect. Suppose X. Now that X we need to display using arrow operator. I want to display. How to display X? Displaying that X. That is what list. But printing is very, very important. In the form of list we are printing. In the form of list. Here 2 points you need to understand. First point is that X we are displaying now. X. This you have to put it in curly braces. And this entire thing also you should put it in curly braces. Reason is what? Simple reason. Because this is the JavaScript code. Wherever you are writing the JavaScript code inside the HTML, something you want to display, that you are displaying like this. Easy way of displaying. Okay. What for each will do? What for each will do? A simple one. Array you have given as an input. From this array, for each means each element will come and store into this X. Nothing but first 10 will come automatically. That you are printing in between the list. 20 will come. next 30. Automatically, one by one values will come and store into this X. The value we are adding to the list. That is, that same output you will get is a same output you will get. Why you are not getting that output? List. Here it is for each. We are doing everything perfectly now. npm run automatically is not working. Change it to no same. Yeah, for each E is a capital. In unordered list, default app only. For each we are writing that each element is coming from the array. That array we are taking. Same. The text will come in between. Oh my god, that is not coming. Let me check. I think that for each method is an old one. Later they introduced the concept called map. Let me check whether it has replaced map. Each element you need to map. Yeah. Problem is what I think for each is an old one because every day is updating. I think it is replaced. Map they have given. Map. Please use that map instead of for each. Each element if you want to process using that map. Now this is actually just creating that list. Not only this, sometimes object is there, object. So what is that object? Let employee details, number of account details we are taking. Number of account details. Let accounts is equal to this is. We know already how to access, we know. First one by one. Suppose 101 account number is account holder name. Account number. Next again account number is account holder name. Account number is account holder name. Like this. Multiple values we are storing. Suppose multiple values just we are creating but we are not using, then why you are wasting the memory like that it is saying. Then we need to collect one by one. How? Same one. Everything you have to write. First step is what? In this one. Okay. Now what you have to write? There is a class called object. In that entries one method is there. Entries. For that entries, you have to pass this object accounts. This accounts you have to pass as an input to the entries. Okay, if I pass, then what will happen? Then dot, we can map both. We can map one by one, one by one. Sir, what they will give? What they will give? Map two values. Two values it will give. Two values it will give. What are the values? As a key value pair. Key will give, as well as a value also will give from that, as well as value. And that we are adding to the list. How we are list? Both key we are printing, key with the gap value we are printing. Just key we are printing, as well as value we are printing. Both we are printing now. Both we are printing. That's why just we are providing this one parenthesis. And next one, this one also as a key value pair, as a key value. Both key value pair we are providing. See, let me explain. Normally, we are working with the normal variables, single value, or you are working with the list of values, or we are working with the object values. So these three things you must learn. How to process the data, you must learn, important. So whenever you are working with this object key value pair, object.entries method is there. The complete object you need to pass as an input. Then one map object will be created. Map object will be created. So mapping means what? Processing one by one, one by one. So from here, it will process one by one, one by one. Okay. This is actually called, look at this. This is arrow function. Don't miss this arrow function. This is important. Is a arrow function. Pink color one. And this is map opening and map closing. Map is taking arrow function. For arrow function input, you are giving key value. Key value. Then printing that key value we are printing. Key and value we are printing like that. Simply. When you are executing, is printing the values like this. Printing the values. These are the three you need to practice. Mostly these simple questions only they will ask. How to process a normal value, how to process a list, how to process a map. Once again, here it is. If you are taking a normal one, name equals to single value, just printing. Even this is also not required. This is also not required in a H1. In a H1, we are simply saying this one, hello. Simply, we are saying first, normally we are printing hello, then name we are printing. Hello. Name we are printing. Easy way. Simple one. This is the first one. Single one, how can we process? Single value. No. I want to process multiple values like array. Mostly we are using these things only. So I'm taking array, or you can say that list also. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. All values you just display as a list. Ordered list or unordered list. Ordered list or unordered list. First, unordered list. How can we? Everything you have to write in between. ARR dot map is the what map will do. From that array, each element it will give. That is, suppose X. We collect into X. Okay, what you want to do with that X? That I want to display. That I want to display as a list item. As a list item. That's all. Then is printing all values like this. All values like this. It is the second option. Multiple times you practice. 50 times, 100 times you practice. Because maximum data we store in these three formats only. A normal variable or as a list or as an object. How can we process? Normal processing map. Then slowly that filter also will come whenever we are filtering. Then how can we process objects, sir? Suppose accounts I am taking or employees I am taking or employees I am taking. Different values you can take. That's your wish. Suppose is the first one. Key. Employee name. Employee name is belongs to. Suppose Hyderabad. Employee 2. Suppose is belongs to suppose Pune. Is employee 3. Is employee 3. Is belongs to, for example, Chennai. Like this. How can we means what? Objects, one class is there. Objects dot. There is an option, there is a method called entries. Method called entries. What you have to pass that? Employees we have to pass. Then you need to process dot map. Each entry you will get. How you will get each entry? How you will get each entry as a key value. Key value that you are passing. That you are passing is a key value you are getting. Key value. Then what you are doing that key? Arrow. You are printing as a list. List. First one is a key you are printing. Next one is a value you are printing. First one is what? Key. Next one is a value you are printing. Why it is giving errors? Objects is not defined. Key value pair. Object. Key value pair. Whenever you are printing this key value pair, the value you are printing. That list. Li. You are printing. Li. You are printing. What you need to pass? Employees. Is giving the values. Is giving the values. Only these three you have to practice. That is okay. The next one is we need to understand that props and the state. So actually, what is a props and what is a state, that we need to understand first. Okay, let me explain with one simple example. We know that all these things. What is a state? You need to understand first what is a state. Suppose this is an object. This is an object. Which object? Account object. In that, balance is there. Initially balance is 3000 considered. This is a state of an object. Is one state of an object. But is it constant every time? No, it is not at all constant. It will change. Suppose I want to deposit 2000 rupees. It will be 5000 is another state. Suppose I recharge my mobile with a 500 rupees. Then it will become 4500 is another state. So state of an object is not constant. It will change every time. State of an object is not constant. It is changing every time. But sir, how can we maintain this state? How can we maintain this state? Okay, we have two things. One is a functional component. One is a functional component. Second one is a state component. See, functional component means what? Just consider as a functional component better instead of state component. Why state component? I'll explain. One is first functional component. Second one is a class component. Class component is actually called state component. Why? I'll explain. Functional component means what? Just like a normal function. Just normally function add a comma b, just adding them and returning them is considered. C equal to a plus b and return c. Function add c equal to a plus b and return c. Okay, na? But see here, can we store a state continuously? No. These are actually called temporary variables. These are so many names are there. Arguments we can call arguments. Right? These are temporary variables. Temp variables actually. These variables store values until function execution completes. Once function execution completes, okay na? Once function execution completes, simply to say, all values will be deleted. Sir, first time suppose a equal to 1020 I pass. Second time if I call 2030, then 1020 replace with 2030. It will be gone. Na? 1020 is replacing with the 2030. Will gone. Simple thing. But it is a class. Class means object. You know what? Whenever I'm taking the class, normal thinking, in a class, employee is there. When you declare one instance variable, you know instance variable, right? Inside that constructor you define, I'll explain briefly. Employee name or employee salary is there. Employee salary. Every time you can change, set salary. Normally I'm writing. As you know, the basics of Java. Right? Using this instance variable, you can change any number of times. Old one will replace, old one will replace, old one will replace. That is only object. Just now I told that. Suppose balance is there. Balance initially value 5000. Deposit 2000. It will become 7000. 7000. Got it? Every time it is there. It is maintaining the state. Only class components are maintaining the states instead of functional components. That's the reason whenever the concept state comes, they are using class component. But later, what is the concept they introduced in React called hooks? A very, very important concept, hooks. Using the concept of hooks in functional component only, no class component. In functional component only, how can we maintain the state they introduced? Using some hooks are there, use state hook, some hooks are there. Using that hooks concept in functional component only, we can maintain the state. No need to go with the class component. No need to go with the class component. So I'll explain how can we create the class component. Okay. Inside that, how can you maintain the state? Then later, how they introduced hooks concept. In functional component, how can we use that hook called useState hook? All these things we will discuss in the tomorrow class. All in today you have right. So what we have discussed in the last session, just how can we create the local variables in a functional component? How can we define a list and how to display using the map method? And how to create an object in the same way, how to display using that object dot entries. Next one, I explained that props. But first of all, how can we create that prop? And before that, just how can we create the class component that we already discussed? Once again, I'll explain. Once again, here it is. The class component, suppose the same name I'm using, class app, which is extending from the component directly. If you write extending from the component, and we know that which consists the render method. Render method we define, this we know. And what render method will do? It will return the data. It will return simply. It will return the details. That is. So what it is returning is always a JSX. Always a JSX it will return. Here, now first we import that React. From that React component we are importing from the React like this. This we have already seen. Normally, if you want to execute something, if you want to display, just rendering is a div. Inside that normally the code we are taking simply h1 is a hello. Enough. H1 is a hello. Then going to that and starting. See, here it is. We are just creating one class component. And we know that, sorry, the class component is extending from the component. That component first we need to import from the React. And then we are importing. That is. Right. Once you have complete this, then what you have written inside the render, we already know that if it is the class component, you must define that render method explicitly. You must define that render method explicitly. Simply. You know, right? Okay, is one. Is a simple way of defining. Now, suppose here, just like the local, if you want to store the information, no. Here, how can we store the information means what? Using that object, like a instance variables, concept called constructor. Using the constructor, we are creating. Inside the constructor, inside that constructor, you can set the values. You can set values. But see here, normally how can we set this dot state is there, state. Using this state, you can store any number of values. Any number of values. For example, a person age is 23, consider 23. Next one is a name. Suppose I'm taking that name like this. That state we are creating. Sir, then how can we access that? How can we access that information? This is actually called state example. But how can we display? Simply with the paragraph. I'm just giving that age is. Sir, how can we specify? You are representing using this keyword, this object dot. Inside that state is there. Inside that age is present. Age. Next one is the same story. That name is this dot. This means a current one. State dot name. We need to specify like this. Then whenever we are executing this one, when you are compiling, see, you are clearly getting the error. This is not allowed before super method. You need to call this one. Super we have to use. Nothing but props is there. Props is important. That props you have to call and sending to this super. Sir, what is this meaning? Let me explain. Here, this is actually called parent. Because you are extending the inheritance concept is a parent and is a child. Any state, if you want to specify, first of all, you need to specify that properties, props. Right from here, you need to call so that the meaning is what we are using properties, state of the class component. We need to represent this one. Then only you can use this one. Then if you see the output of this is giving that age as well as name. This one. And here it is. Once we are specifying this one value, this dot state. Here every time you need to specify what this dot state dot age, this dot state dot name. Instead of that, a concept called destructuring. So what is the destructuring? In this render method as a local variable, this dot state is there now. This dot state you will store into an object of variables, something like let or const. Here, what are the variables? Age comma name. You can specify like this. Now here no need to write this dot state every time. What is this meaning? Before itself, suppose 21 Annie I'm taking. 21 Annie. What is this meaning? What is this meaning is called destructuring concept. In destructuring, what will happen? This is the object which contains so many elements. Whenever you are assigning all these values, first value automatically will come and store into this age. and this value will come and store into this one. All the values will come and store. Here it is giving that values 21 and Annie. Sir, here, suppose here I'm using just A and next one is a N. I'm using A and I'm using N. I'm using like this. Whenever you are specifying, look at this, agent name is not print. Exactly what all the values variables we are using inside this, the same thing you need to specify here, because based on those things only the values will go and store. The values will go and store, that is age and name is a simple way of specifying. That is, sir, I just want to display, suppose same like here it is this dot state. Sir, can we use another name in place of state? Yes, you can use. Sir, employee details consider EMP. Hope you are getting now. Employee, suppose employee ID, employee ID, employee name, employee salary, like this. Okay, for example, here it is, I'm destructuring the details. This dot emp, okay. Now here it is taking all the three, ID comma name comma salary, ID comma name comma salary, or better EID we are using, E name, E salary. Then printing. Sir, whenever we are printing, I just want to print, okay, all in a one line. Just like simply, I want to print employee details. Sir, side by side, I want to print. Side by side. How can we print means what? This is also important. See, in escape button, the next key is there. This one is there. Behind this escape button, this is not the single quote. It's very, very important. It's not a single quote. They have given this one. Using this, right? We can display all these things. Just wait. Yeah, sorry for the data. Okay, is actually, it is not a single quote actually. This is a kind of a punctuation mark. They have given this one. Okay, using this option, you can display the, you can display the details side by side, like no need to use concatenation and all, right? Concatenation is a hard, so this is the one. How can we display means what? Just dollar, dollar. Then here it is. What is the EID? Next, comma will print automatically. Again, dollar is E name. Next, again, dollar. Again, dollar is E salary. E salary. This is the way we are printing. So whenever we are executing the code, executing, simple way, the values will print side by side like this. Commas also will come automatically. Exactly how you define in the same way will print. In the same way will print. That is. Okay. That is. Sir, I just want to store same like array of components. I already told you na. Array of components I want to display. Same one. In this one, in this place of state, normally we use the word as usual first state, and here we mention array I'm creating, array 10, 20, 20, 30, 40, 50, the values we are writing. But how can we access? We just make it destructure. Okay, you just make it destructure printing, right? Instead of writing just this dot state, it's easy way that everything will come and store into this ARR. And then you know already how to display. Once again, I'm just using that. First one is H2 is array state, just array state. And here we are just printing that unordered list. In this list, how can we display? We know already. Just array dot map. Array dot map. That is what it will give. It will give you the X. That X value you are specifying. You are giving to this one. To whom you are giving? To the list. And that you need to display. That you need to display the same value, just map, and whenever you are printing that one, see all values are printing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Same like, okay. Sir, in the previous one, directly you have stored directly. No, I just want to store as an object, because any number of objects you can store, no? Any number of objects we can store. The first object is this is array. Now inside this I'm storing the, suppose one customer name or user name is object. Now look at this, inside the state again object, name equal to, suppose I'm giving Amar, age is equal to suppose 23, right? Here it is just job role equal to job role, UI developer is giving like this. Okay. Now here you need to specify this dot state. You will get that object user, and directly, sir, directly I want to display. Directly I want to display. Easy way. No the object dot entries and all. Simply object state is a paragraph. In that paragraph, that user age, user name is, how can you display? Easy way, user dot name, using the next paragraph, and using the next paragraph. Age is user dot age. Next one is a job is user dot job. and just printing all the three. First, inside that state, I'm creating one object. That object state we destructuring and storing into this one and printing. Simple way. So no, sir, using map, I just want to display. Using map, I want to display. So how, sir? Once that structure is ready, now the destructuring we are doing. How? Object dot entries and tag. First I'm writing here entries user. What will happen? All properties will come automatically. I'm taking like this. Let just data. Simply I'm taking data. Here how we are printing? How we are printing? Already we know that data dot map. Sir, no. Here it is in unordered list data dot map only na map. What map will do? What map will do? Map will give that key value pair. One by one will give. One by one will give. That what you have to do? What you have to do? You need to pass to this list. How can we? As a key and as a value. As a value, you are specifying like this. Easy way. You are printing the details is another way. Using object dot directly, you can write this one here also. But first we are taking object dot entry separately so that I can execute this one easily. This one. Okay. Just here it is. Object we are mapping. So from this one, each entry key value will key value. This is what lambda expression function input. You are passing input to that arrow function that you are giving to key value pair. Printing simply is a way. Okay. See, practice only this much. I'm uploading yesterday class also. I uploaded this one also. I'll upload once you complete this one, right? Then we execute that hooks concept, and then in tomorrow concept I'll explain few event handling, and then I will go to that use state hooks properly. Before that, you need to understand that basic formatting, how to work with array, how to work with object, how to work with functional component, how to create local variables, how to create state using the constructor, how to use the state object, normal variable inside that state, array inside the state, object inside the state. All these things you need to understand. So you keep on practice. Okay. Thank you. How to handle the events in React, I'm going to explain. And here it is also. And these things also first, I'll explain with the state concept only. Because in the last session, we already discussed that state concept. First one, let me create one component. Let me create simply app class. Of course, any name you can give. Just app I am giving, which is extending from the component class. I mean, component is a one. Okay. Next one is which contains the constructor, because the props concept I'm going to explain. Constructor, and we need to pass, and one render method. What all the things? Let me explain first. First one is a constructor. This we are using the concept called props. Next one is a render is mandatory. render. It will return the JSX. And finally, we need to write this one, export default app. So first one, whenever you are extending from the component, that we need to import. That is also we have already discussed. Import component from the React. From React is a way. Okay. Now, here it is. First of all, in the render, let me explain. Just it is returning that JSX code. It is returning that JSX code. Just one div, HTML div. I am taking what you want to display. Just div. I want to display. Just div. In this division, heading tag h2. So what I am going to print here, I'll explain. First, let me create one button. Just one button. This button will display on the screen. So what is the button? Click me is the button. And sir, what you want to display in a heading? Dynamic content I want to display here. What is that content? I'll show you. Okay, from the state we will do simply. First, we are creating one button. But once you click on this button, on click, so what happens? On click, what happens means what? Important one. Here, if you define one method, that method should execute. Handle click. Suppose it's a method. How you are writing? Simply as anonymous method I'm writing. Anonymous arrow function. Anonymous arrow function I'm writing. So what is this? See, look at this. Whenever you click on this button, this handle click will execute. Handle click. But suppose here initially, sir, I'm not writing the button. I'm not writing handle click. I'm not writing anything. Here, I'm just creating one state, just super of props. One state I have created. What is that state? How to create? This dot state is equals to one simple message. Just a simple message I am creating. Message equals to just a string. It's a initial message. It's a initial message. That is. Okay. Now. Here, that message I want to display here. This dot state dot. Look at this. It is showing message. That's all. I'm just executing the code. CD ReactJS npm start. See what I'm doing here. Simply I have created one state. After creating the state, that message, what is the initial message you have placed inside the state? Displayed. Just displayed. That's all. Okay. Let me show you this first. It is a little slow. In H2, it is printing. And this already we discussed in the last session. How can we maintain the state using the props object? But now using event handling, that information I want to change it. See, initial message it is printing. Okay. Now here what we are doing. Now here what we are doing, I am adding one button. Just button. Button name is a click me. And now this button will show. But when you click on the button, what we have to do? This is actually called event handling. When you click on this button, here, this dot handle click, that is one method that you must define. If it has to show while writing, first of all, you need to define inside the class. Handle click is the method. This is arrow function. Arrow, we are writing this code. When you click, what should happen? It's very simple. I'm changing this dot state value. This dot state value, I'm going to change. So what is that? Sir, I want to change that message is equal to button clicked. Actually, that is initial message, na? Now that is changed to button clicked. So now, whenever you click on this button, it has to execute this one. See, this dot. Now look at this. It is showing that method what you have defined inside the class. See, sir, why everywhere using this? You have defined everything inside the class. Just it is considered as an object. In object, how can we access that reference means what? Using this. Either you are storing the data, variables concept, or you are defining any method, just we can access with the help of this. Now, whenever you are executing this one, once you click on this button, automatically handle click will execute and this message will display. Look at this. When you click on this, click me. Oh my God. This dot state has a function. O is not a function. Using arrow function only we are giving. Sorry, we need to change the value, na? It's very sorry. Set state we are using. With the help of this method, we are changing. My mistake. When you click on this, look at this button clicked. This is the easy way of doing event handling concept. Next one more I'll explain. Just like this only, just one more. Now here it is, this dot set state count value is a 0. Now here I am printing count equals to this dot state dot that count value we are printing. Count In place of click me, I'm just writing increment or decrement. Just increment function I'm writing. Increment. Same handle click I'm using or any name. Suppose if it is increment count. Increment count. So we are calling this dot increment count we are using. Inside that setting state means what? Setting state. This is important. So what is this? We are passing the value. Passing the value. Whenever you are calling this one, setting the state, you can pass the value also. Setting the state by passing the previous state. By passing previous state, we are passing previous state. Previous state. Here, when you are calling this, count colon that previous state dot count plus 1, we are increasing that value. That is the previous state value. Inside the increment count, we are setting the state. We are passing that previous state as an input. Like this, you need to pass. Like this, you need to pass. So the two values you are providing. Now, when you are executing this code, initially count 0. When you click on this, look at this. It's keep on incrementing. Whenever you are calling set state, automatically that initial value, whatever the value, will go and store into this variable. Sir, do we need to use that previous state only? No, just X. Just previous state. Whatever that object, in that object count variable is there. Count. To that count, we are adding 1. Count plus 1, 1. Now that will go and store into this count. Sir, I just want to take one more. Just like increment count, I am doing this decrement count also. Is a decrement count. Just minus 1. Now 2 I am taking. So here it is. Now one more thing. Is a decrement count. 2 buttons I am creating. 2 buttons. Now 2 buttons show. It's keep on increasing and is keep on decreasing. Is keep on increasing like this. How to handle click? First, normally, we know in the last session clearly I explained how to maintain different types of state using the props concept. Today, event handling means what? Button click is an event. That is the best example to understand. That's why I have created button. When you click on the button, it has to do some action. For that, I already defined one method. With the help of method, we are changing the data. Is a simple way. This is enough. Then that use state and all, using that props, more examples we'll discuss in the tomorrow class. Today, one important concept, that is what React hooks. First of all, with the help of examples, you can easily understand what is the importance of React hooks. We know already. Suppose inside the function, if you declare any variable is called local variable. This local variable gets memory when function execution starts, and that will be deleted as soon as the function execution completed. I'll show you practically. I'll show you first with a simple example. Function app. Normally I'm taking. Okay. Function app. What I'm writing here? First, I'm writing the return. One button I'm taking first. Button. Display the count value. Display the count value. That is a message will display on the button. On click, I'm writing one method. Const handle click I'm taking. Handle click. Sir, what is this? What is this? This is important. Whenever you click on this one, on click, what will happen? This handle click will execute. Handle click method execute. That's okay. But here in the handle click, what will happen? This is a button. Button object will give as an event. That is actually called event object. That is called what? Event object. From that event, inside that, I am writing one variable, just count is equals to 5. I'll show you. Then I am printing the value. Just I am printing the value. Simply. So how we are printing the value? Just simply console.log count value equals to printing the value is a plus count, increasing the value and counting. Print. Simply I am writing. I'll explain clearly. Simply I am writing cd ReactJS npm start. npm start. Here, whenever you are click on the button, inside that, this is handle click will execute now. Just one message I am writing. It's an event. Inside the function, I am declaring one local variable. With the help of value is a 5. Okay. But you are printing. You are printing the value. You are printing the value. On console, we are printing simply. On console, we are printing. That I'll explain. Okay. Why console? Here I am not using any state and all because we can't use a state here. That's why. That's why. See here. Let it execute. Just it will show the button with a display count. But here it is, you need to check that console also. Just inspect element. Inspect element. See, this is the console. Click on the console. When you display count, look at this count value 6. Again, I'm clicking. Look at this count value 6 only. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times is keep on printing. But count is not changing now. Count is not changing. Reason is every time memory will be allocated and that memory will be destroyed once this execution is completed. What is that meaning? Inside the function, if you declare a local variable, that will be destroyed as soon as function execution completed. No, sir, I just want to maintain the data. When you keep on click on that one handle click, then it's keep on increasing the value. It's keep on increasing the value. Sir, in that case, what I should do? That is only I explained in the last class. What is that? This is the one. What is that? Here you must use classes and objects concept. Inside the object, you can maintain the state. Using that state, you can store the value. Using the state, you can store the value that you can keep on increase and you keep on decrease. Right? For every increment. Using that functional components, it's impossible. Using the class components only, you can maintain the state. State means what? Just a variable with some value. Whenever you want to modify, that you can modify. Simply, you can modify. Simply, you can modify. That is the case. So, when you are executing this code, already we know you keep on increasing and you keep on decreasing. That state, previous state, it is maintaining every time. That's why they introduced the concept of class components by avoiding the functional components. But class components means what? You need to write so much of code, lot of code, object-oriented programming. But main purpose of JavaScript is a functional programming only. That is the only reason they introduced the concept called hooks. They introduced the concept called hooks. Using the concept of hooks in functional components also, you can maintain the state. Inside the function also, you can maintain the state. That is the main hook, and the very, very important hook is a state hooks. What are the state hooks? First one is use state hook. What is the meaning of use state hook? How can you create? It will create one local variable, suppose const like this. What is the count value and what is the method you will use to change that count, and what is the initial value it should starts with. Suppose if I'm writing like this, what is the meaning of this one? Initial value of count variable is 0. Whenever you want to change the value, you need to use this set count function. Sir, where I should write, sir? Do I need to write inside the classes? No. Inside the functional components. Same story. Functional component only I'm taking. Component name is a counter. Component name is a counter. As usual, return statement is nothing but rendering you have to write. Inside the rendering, div, the division will come. Inside the rendering, div will come. Inside the div, just one paragraph. Inside the paragraph, I am printing the count value. This also not required because this will come only inside the classes and objects. There is no classes concept, just count directly you are printing. When you click on the button on click, any method, any function you can write. That I'll write, suppose increment counter I'm writing. Increment counter is button close. What you need to display on the button? Increment. When you click on this one, automatically the count should increase. Sir, where is the count variable? This is useState. One variable const count set count to change the value. useState hook you are using. Initial value I am starting with 0. Initial value. Suppose if I am not writing this one, just useState, I am displaying the details. We need to import as usual. Import React, just like a component. useState we need to use from React. From React. That's it. Now simply we are executing this code. Just useState I'm using. Is giving that error? Just export default. Export default app. Here it is just giving the warning. Set count is taking, but you are not using. Set count. Look at this. Look at this. App is not defined. App.js keywords. We are using what? Counter. Counter. Now look at this. Here count equals to 0. Count equals to 0. That is. Okay now. And button. But when you click on the button, what will happen? Then you need to write one function. Const increment counter. Increment counter is a 1. That no. Okay. Okay. Increment counter. Okay. Here on click, just writing that. Just writing increment counter is a 1. Okay now. Now we need to write the code for that. Increment counter. If you want to display, then that increment counter will increase the value. How? Just one arrow operator we are writing. Arrow function. Simple set count calling. Set count value inside previous count value plus 1. Easy way coding. Easy way of coding. That is the one. Increment counter. Increment counter. Look at this. So whenever you click on this button, then this increment counter will execute and it will increase the count value. Just when you are executing this, is keep on incrementing the value. Is keep on incrementing the value. This is the simple way of writing that one. Simple way of writing. Okay, this one. Now one more thing we are writing. One more thing. This is increasing and decreasing the count value. Sometimes here are separately by increment counter and all. This code directly you can write here itself. Directly you can write here itself. No need to write in another place. Is a 1. Is a 1. Separately no need to write that. Whenever you click on the button, okay, what is the action? What is the action it has to do? Just it will call the set count. It will call the set count and execute. That's all. Same output you will get. Same output you will get. Look at this. It's a simple way of writing that one. Okay, now. Like this, how can you change the toggle case, toggles, right? Make it visible, blank, or like that. How to access from the text box. How can you create the text box? How can you submit the form, right? Multiple states and everything I'll provide that you need to do. First, try to understand. Here it is. Only one thing they will ask, what is a hook? What is hook? At least one example you should able to do. Hooks are used to maintain the state in functional components. In normal functions, it is impossible to maintain the state. If you want to maintain the state, class components we are using. Okay. Instead of class components, they introduced hooks concepts. Using the hooks concepts with the functional components also, you can maintain the state. State means what? Suppose some value count equals to 0 that you keep on modify. Text variable value that you can keep on modify. That's it. Only practice this much. The document I'll share. What we have discussed in the last session, just when you click on the button, how to increase the value and how to decrease the value. I just explained, right? And when you click on the button, how to display some text and all. Now the same story, two more types of events I'll explain. Using the class component easily, as well as using the functional component. First, once again, every time I'm representing the class component and functional component to understand easily. Suppose class, any name we are giving is a text field. So text field class I'm writing. Text field class is a class component which is extending from the React dot React dot component. It is using React dot component. That is. So as usual, if you are writing that state, what we need to specify? Two things we need to specify. One is a constructor and second one is a render method. One is a constructor as usual. Second one is a render method. In a render method, you need to represent that one. Here, next as usual, export default the text field class. Text field class. Here it is, first one. I'm just writing inside. Multiple times I'm explaining because these are the very important things. Most of the questions they will ask from these things only. So you should able to write all these things yourself. Whenever it is taking the props, that props you need to specify. You need to specify to the parent component. After specifying the parent component, we are creating the state object. We are creating the state object. This dot state is equal to here. Initially, I'm just taking some value. Text value equals to initial text I'm giving. Initial text. Okay. Here, just Now I want to display the text on the screen. So from the render, I'm taking one div. I'm taking one div. Here I'm writing the text box with the paragraph. The text what you entered is, you know that it's a class component. So this dot state object dot, what is the text value you have given that you are printing? First, only this much. I'm executing this one. Hello. ఇంట్లో సరే సార్. Right here it is. Just we are calling that npm start. npm start. First initial text. I'm not creating any text field. Just small text that directly I'm initializing to the variable is a text value that I'm printing using the paragraph. Using that paragraph is a one. Render method is not returning the return statement. So we are writing return. We forgot this. We forgot. React is not defined. We need to import now. Import React from React. Sir, where is the component, sir? Directly you are representing React.component. Now when you are executing the code, the text what you entered is initial text. Initially is not there. Now we are adding something here. One input box we are writing. Input type is equal to text box. Text box. Sir, what is the value? What is the value? Initially, what is the value? This dot is important. State dot text value. Now, initially, I am not writing anything. Empty. This empty will display here initially. Nothing but not display anything. Whenever you change, on change, not on click. Yesterday we have seen on click button. On change, same, just in this any function. Suppose I am writing handle change one function, I will write. So here I am writing that method handle change. Whenever you click on that, you will get some event object now. That event object you are writing as an arrow function. How? This dot setting that state. What you are setting? What you are setting? Whatever you will write on the text box. Here it is text value equals to, in the event object, what is the target value? This is important. Whenever, see, every time, whenever you perform any operation, one event object will be created. Sir, what is that event object? Whenever you keep on changing the text, it is keep on sending the event objects, keep on sending the event objects. In that, what is the target? Automatically, Target means what? This one input is a target. The same thing. What is the element you are working with? That is the target. In that you have entered some value now. That value automatically set to this one. See, when you are executing the code, then you will understand easily. Look at this. Initially, it is not showing anything, but here, Amar, see, back. This is typing like this, changing whatever you are writing here, changing text. Instantly, it is keep on sending the event objects and keep on executing the handle change option. Button clicks and all not required. Button clicks and all not required. That is okay. This is the one. Now, this is one. Sir, this is what? Class component. How can we do with the functional component? Functional components means what? We already discussed in the last session. Hook we need to write. Hook. Yes or no? Use state hook we are writing. Last class we discussed. Same example. I'm explaining once again. Now it's a functional component now. Functional. Suppose text field hook I am writing. It's normally. Text field hook. It's a function, right? Function. That is. And in the function, as usual, no render, directly written. That is. Inside that JSX we are writing div we are writing JSX. It's the same story. Export default text field hook. Now in the hook we are writing use state. First of all, let me import or else it is giving error every time. React comma use state hook from React. Use state hook from React. That is the one. Now here const, I already told you that I'm taking one text value, but how to change? Set text value equal to use state of, I already told you, initially previously yesterday 0. Now is a empty string I am giving. Is a one. Empty string. This one. Now here it is a const handle change we are writing, but before that let me show you that first. Same story. Here it is paragraph first, and we know already. Just entered. What is the text you entered? Is know this now, because this is functional component. Directly text value we are printing. It's easy. Now I am writing input type is equals to text. What is the value, sir? Text value. Same only. Text value, but on change you need to call again, not this dot, just handle change. That function anyway we will write in between. We are writing that handle change equals to, as usual, it will send the event. It's a common story. Set what is the text value. Is the same method you have to use now. Text value. What you will tell? In event target is a text box. In that value, what you have entered. That's it. What you have entered. Simple one. When you are executing that code, use state is defined but never used. That is the event dot target. It's the same one. Now what you are entering is keep on writing. Which one is easy? Is a functional component is easy. Use state hook. So that's why comparingly I'm explaining with the class component as well as a functional component. As well as functional component. One more simple example I'll tell. Simple example. Here use state hook only. I just want to display the text, not text value. Just display text. As usual, set display text. Set display text. But here, initially I'm giving this is false. True or false I'm giving. True or false. Sir, what is this? First of all, I'm creating one button. Just toggle text. When you click on the button, it will remove and it will place. It will remove and it will place. That is actually called toggle text. I'll show you. Toggle text. Now, how it will display means what? Code we are writing like this. If display text and if display text and that and I'll explain. P text is now visible. What is the meaning? If this is true, then only it will display. If this is false, and this will not display. That's why with the logical and with a logical and simply. But when you click on this button, on click, just any code writing, handle, toggle I'm writing because it's a toggle text. Handle toggle I'm writing. Any function, just const handle toggle, handle toggle. This is button only. It will not give any information. Just inside what you are setting, set display text equal to reverse, not display text, not display text, just reverse it is giving. So initially it is false now. Not false means what? It will set to true. One time you click, it will make it true. One time you click, it will make it false. One time you click, it will make it true. One time you click, see toggle text. This text is visible. First not visible, na? Now is visible. Now click on that, make it false, not visible, visible, not visible, visible, not visible, like this. This is actually called toggle text. Okay. See, all these things we are just learning to understand the logics where we are implementing at the end. So after the concept of event handling and with the help of use state hook, today I'm going to explain just how to create one form in ReactJS, simple login HTML form. How can we validate before submitting the information? Everything, let me explain. First of all, I'm taking, as we are using hooks concept. Directly, we are using the functional component only, just any functional component name. Simple login form is a functional component I'm giving. Is a arrow function. For this is a code later. Functional component. And here simply which contains export default. So what is that? Simple login form. simple login form. As every time I'll show you that, but before that, let me check. So now here, as usual, what are the concepts we need to write? Right? Here it is. The first one, whenever you submit, right, handle submit code, and next one some use state, and main thing is what? Return. Return is nothing but the render method you need to display, that you know already. The render method you need to display. In that render method, now we are writing the code for the simple login form. It has to return that div. In this div, first one simple message is a simple message h2. H2 is a simple login form I am writing. Simple login form. Sir, whenever we submit the form, which one has to execute? That code later we are writing. This is the form. Is the code. But in this form, whenever you submit this, where it has to go? It has to execute. Suppose one function, handle submit function I'm executing. Just handle submit. So you need to write the code for handle submit now. You need to write the code for handle submit. Just const handle submit that function. See, whenever you perform any event, that event object will take inside that event object. What is the code? That we'll see later. About the code, we'll see later. Just the question is, whenever you submit this simple login form, which one should execute means what? This handle submit code gets executed. Handle submit code. First, that form I'll show you. The first one, simply in the form, first division, like divisions we are writing. One label I am writing simply. Label. So what is that label? Just enter your username. Enter your username. For that, one input box is required now. Input box is required. Input. What is the type? Is a text box. You know that HTML concept. With the help of ID only we are collecting. ID I am giving just username. What is the value? What you enter, that value you will store into this variable value. So every time whenever you are changing, all normally we are writing like this. Normally, here it is. Whenever you are changing, on change, where it has to go directly, separate function I'm not writing. Separate function I'm not writing. Just here only that function I'm writing. So what is the function? On change, event object will execute now. Event object that simply set that username. Sir, what is that username? In that event, target value we are setting. But sir, where is the set username? That is only hook. So initially we are taking what is the username and what is the function we are using for setting the username. What is the default value? Using useState initially empty. Initially empty. It's the same story. Password. Set password. Function for setting, modifying the value. What is the useState initially is the same. Next one is a const In case any error message, set error I'm using. In case username and password is an error, use state initially is a 1. First, we should make it ready. See, what is this meaning? Whenever you enter the text into this input, of course, later if you want to collect, you can collect into username. But before that, automatically the value will set to this set name, set username. Set username. We are setting to that 1. Simply, we are closing that input box. That is in the first div we have written. Same story, second div. Once again, I'm writing label. What is the label? What is the password? Simply, what is the password? Password also same. Input type equals to text box. And with which ID name you will collect the data? With which ID name? Simply, I'm giving that password only. Password. Sir, I don't want to make it visible, sir. You know already. Password. Then type automatically, it's not visible to this one. And the value is a password value. This is the value. See, is enabled now automatically. Password. Whenever you are changing the value, every time one event will handle event that that event object will take. From that event object, simply set password will set that event dot target dot value. Automatically will set to this password. See, it is also enabled now. It is also enabled. Set username, set password. Sir, third one is a error I'm writing. Error. So what is that? Sir, I just want to make it required. Compulsory means what? Simply, you can add this required also. Required means without giving the value, you cannot execute. It's a second div. After 2 divs, just one error message I'm writing. Of course, one button we are writing anyway. Button. Type is a submit button because it will submit the information. What is the button name? What is the button name? Is a login button. Login will show. But in between, one error message I'm writing. One error message. Sir, what is that error? In case, of course, if it is an empty, okay. But in case if you set any error, that will display. Already in the last class, I'll show you the toggle text. That toggle text is very, very important while writing here. Error. So error should not be empty. And that div, just I'm giving the style directly. Style. Sir, what is this style? Simply, the color is a red color. With a red color, we are giving that error message. Error message. So what is this? What is this? That error will print with the div tag. That error will print with the div tag. So what all these things? Error. Just wait. Any error message? Any error message? And first of all, with the simple example, you will get confused. Just div. And even error is also not required. And this one is a final error. Oh, wait. Why I'm writing here? It's div na? In this div it is printing. No styling I'm giving, just I'm giving this much. In case error is there, In case error is there, logical AND operator means what? If it is true, then only it will display. Here, if it is empty, it will not display. Suppose if you set any value, it will display. I'll show you that with the division. But for this division, if you want to give any style means what, that you can apply. Now I'll explain clearly what is the style you want to apply. Color is a red color. Color is a red color you need to apply. Style you are writing like this. What it is going on? Like this, the color, that style you can apply like this. Okay. Only here it is a form is there, happy. It is showing as of now error. Use state is not defined. Use state is no definition. Use state is undef. User state. Use state. Somewhere we made a mistake. Use state. That's why. Use state I'm giving. But still here it is. Here it is showing that some of the keywords use state not using means what? See. Import. You know already. No? Why initially it is giving error? We know already. Import React. What is that? Use state from React. Use state from React. Now it is okay. But still you will get some errors. But form is okay. Form is okay. See, please fill out this field. Please fill out this field. Because required we use na required. Just a simple login form to create. This is the code you need to specify in React. Now, sir, here whenever they click on this one, submit, on submit, handle submit will execute. So you have to write the code, handle submit. First validations we need to perform. On handle submit, validations we need to perform. What is that? If the username equals to directly, what is triple equal to meaning means what? Directly value it will compare. Suppose I just want to fix like this. Amar and the password is equals to 1234. If they give exactly username and password, this one only, just directly we are giving the message alert box login success. We are not submitting server side code. We are not writing, only client side code. Na? Login success. Once you login success, just we are setting that username equal to empty. We just remove the username currently they use. Set password equal to empty. Just for next thing. Error is also empty. Set error is also empty. No, sir. In case if they enter the wrong password, it's a if block, no? It's a if block. Now in else block, we are setting the error. What is that? Set error invalid username and password. Invalid username and password. Now look at this. When you are executing this code, suppose if you enter the value Amar, value I am giving 2345, not 1234. Look at this 2345. Giving that invalid username and password. Invalid username and password. Oh, it is going somewhere. It is moving in a fraction of seconds. After giving username and password, oh, it is not waiting. Oh, it is submitting. Handle submit. If it is submitting, what will happen? I think Okay, then we should stop actually. After that event, we need to stop. Just prevent default we are using. Prevent default. What is that meaning? Automatically it will not submit. Now look at this. When you execute this, suppose Amar 2345. Look at this, it is waiting for some time. It is not submitting to that by default. Prevent default method we are using. Or else after giving this message, the data will automatically submit to the server. Until you give, suppose 1234, then login. Look at this, login success. But once you click on OK, we just make it this one empty, this one empty, this one clear. See, everything clear. Look at this. This is the code is executing. Once login success, once you click on OK, this thing executing. Okay, this is the simple way of creating the form. So based on this one, you can create n number of forms. Registration form with a password, confirm password. Any other form also you please create in the same way. Okay, na? Right, we have already completed one hook, that is useState hook, that will maintain the state from the functional component. Second one is a use reference hook. Third one is a use effect hook. Use reference hook is always maintain the previous state, nothing but previous values of any component, just working like as a reference. Use effect is always to perform the side effects. Side effects means what? If you see the number of examples, you will get clarity on this. One simple example I'll explain so that easily you will understand about the three main hooks. Okay. First, let me import all the three hooks as usual. Import React. The three hooks, as we know that use state, how to import. Use state hook, use reference hook, and use effect hook also from the React. From the React. I just want to take the input from the text box. So as usual, functional component only I'm writing. Just is a text input I'm taking. One simple functional component I'm writing. One simple functional component, and simply export the default is a text input. Text input. So let me execute parallelly. We are in the ReactJS folder. Just npm and start. Let it run parallelly. So we are writing the code. The text input. So one functional component we have taken. The first one, using the use state hook, I just want to maintain one basic state of the text box. As you know that const. Here is a message. And if you want to change the message, just like a set count, set message we have given. Set message. It's a use state hook. Initially, it holds that empty text message. Initially, it holds the empty text message. You know that use state. Just for maintaining the state, and by using the use state, that initial state we will maintain. Initial state. Now here, one reference hook also we need to maintain. Simply that input ref. Initially, we are just calling that use ref. Use ref. Right? One more. So one is a use state hook. Second one is a use reference hook, like this we are taking. Input reference. That what is that input reference? I'll show you. Okay. Here, use effect also we are writing. First of all, let me show you that. Return written that render, let me write first. Written clearly, I'll explain. The div, inside that div, inside the div. I'm just writing one text box. Input type is equals to text. One text box I'm writing, and for this text box only I am giving the reference. Sir, what is this reference? That input ref we are giving. Input ref, this one. This one is representing this text box. For this text box, we are giving the reference. Just address, that's all. Address we are giving. And sir, what is the value? Value is what you are going to write, that message we are writing. Everything I am not writing side by side. Just in the next line, if you are writing, if you are confusing, you just write like this. Value, that message, initial message, whatever it is. Whenever you keep on writing, we will set using the useState. That is a simple way I'll explain. The next one is whenever you are changing, on change. Whenever you are changing the text, automatically it has to change. Automatically it has to change. Right? How you are writing on change, one target that you are collecting into event, just E I am giving. E, we are calling that set message. On that event object, target value is there. Directly I have written this one. Normally what we are calling on change, we are separately writing the code. Here it is a something like text change or something you are taking, because we already discussed that use state hook so many times. So directly here I'm writing. Every time whenever you are changing, an event object will be sent. In that event object, target. So target is input only, na? Whenever you are changing that value automatically will set to the message. With the help of this set message, you are setting. With the help of set message, we are setting. That is the one. We have written this one. Next here, we are writing one button also. We are writing the button. Directly better, button we are writing. Button. And so what is that? Just alert box I am writing. Just the show alert message. Whatever the text you display, whatever the text you enter on the text box will be displayed whenever you click on this show alert button. So on click, we are writing some code. What is that? It's simply that handle button click. Just simply handle click we are writing. Handle click, that's all. But where is the function that handle click? Of course, we have to write that. Just const handle click. Handle click we are writing. Just like a arrow function we are writing. Handle click we are writing as an arrow function. Only this much. Oh, this much we defined as of now. So how it executes? See here you can enter the text. When you click on show alert, automatically that message will show on the alert box. Right here on the handle click, whatever you are doing is what is a alert message. Alert, just that message you are printing in the alert box. whatever the message, just in the alert box you are writing. When you are executing this, here we are writing like ABC, show alert. It is showing here. When you click on OK, where is the cursor? The cursor suppose has to represent here. Back, show alert, OK. Cursor should focus here. So normally, just how to make it focus. In the beginning, how to make it focus means what? Simply, that is actually called side effect. Use effect. It's a side effect. How to execute? How to execute this side effect? It is taking a very important one. It is taking two arguments. One is a this one is a arrow function. Second one is one array. About that array, I'll explain followed by. In this arrow function, what we have to write? Simple input ref, nothing but the text box, current dot focus. In the beginning itself, directly it will focus on the text box ABC, but once you click on show alert, OK, but still it is not focusing on the text box. Still it is not focusing on the text box. What we will do, just a small thing we will do. After alert message, everywhere input ref dot current dot focus, this one. And you can do one more thing also. Just we can set the message is a clear and then focus. Set. Suppose if I am not writing the set message, how it will be? See. Now we are writing that show alert. Okay. Now see back, it will focus on the same place. But you need to clear this. No, sir, I don't want to clear. Automatically, it should be clear. So after this alert message, set message I am calling. You have written that set message to this empty string. We are setting this as soon as alert execution completed. Now look at this. When I'm writing something show alert, once you click on this, look at this. Using input ref, it will make it focus to this one. This is simply, we can call it as a side effect. Side effects are simply whenever here we just initially, it will make it focus to the place, to the text box. Every time after performing the task, after working with the text box, if you want to send the cursor position to the same place, to make it focus on the same place, we need to use this one, input reference. This is actually called reference. Use reference means what? For any component, you can give one address. Reference. Then you can utilize that reference in every hook. Everywhere, in every function, simply we can utilize. And here it is a use effect hook, not only this one. As soon as it is executed, suppose if you want to change the document name, or if you want to perform any other operation, simply we are using these hooks. Totally 3 hooks are there. Use state hook. Second one is a use reference hook. Third one is a use effect hook. Use state, use reference, and use effect. What is the purpose of useState? Already we discussed. So what is the reason? What is the purpose? Using the class components only, you can maintain the state. Using this keyword or using the object only, you are maintaining the state. That is a class component. But working with the class components become hectic. Lot of code we have to write. That's why what they introduced, use state in a functional component they introduced. Okay. So that's so many examples we already discussed. And today about that use reference hooks and as well as a use effect hooks. Simple. Use reference hook means what? Just maintaining the previous values. Persist values between the renders. Simply. The values which are present, current property. Whatever the object current reference, it will maintain. That's it. Use effect means what? So many side effects of the function. So not only this one actually, not only that simply focusing on the beginning and all. In the next class, I'll explain how to fetch the information, fetching the information, right? So many other side effects are there. All the side effects example, one by one we'll see. But actually, whenever you are writing that use effect, how to write the code, const use effect, and a very important one, it is taking. Here, two things it is taking. Two things. Use effect hook. One is a function as an input. Second one is a list. We can say that array. That is actually dependencies array. Dependencies array. If you don't specify any input, it will run only one time. Sir, how to pass the dependencies and all? Slowly I'll explain. Only this example you just try for today by using that use state hook, use reference hook, as well as use effect hook. Here for the text box, we are giving one reference. And whenever we want to focus on the text box, simply we focus with the help of that reference hook only here. This is a simple example for reference hook. Use effect hook. So I'll give one more example tomorrow when we are fetching the information from the URL with the working with the JSON objects and all that is. Okay. You can leave for today. Today I'm going to explain about that concept in ReactJS, actually routing. So first of all, what is the concept of routing? Simple one. Routing is the concept of navigating, nothing but moving between the pages. Between pages. What are the pages? Suppose is a home page, contact page, services page. Just moving between the pages is actually called routing. Without triggering a full page load, complete page will not reload. Just quickly, we can easily navigate. Between the pages. From one page to another page, we can easily navigate. Sir, how can we? Is actually switch option is there and followed by we can use a route option also. Switch or route option. First of all, for that, what we have to do. So once we open that React, up to here, all these things, only one thing you need to do, npm install simply react router DOM you need to install. Of course, in my system, I have already installed. Just you need to do like this one. Then all the packages will be installed. Use it to work with the router classes and everything. As we will discuss all the classes and how can we write the coding part and everything, I'll explain. So first one here is we are in a ReactJS folder. We just go to that, then we can start npm. So as usual, first how can we write? First of all, we need to create the pages. We will create few pages first, then how to navigate from one page to another page. Here it is on a source, just we right click, a new file. Just I'm giving that file name is a home.js file, JavaScript file. In home.js, I'm just writing the simple function is a React from React. Simply what we are doing here, just function, home function. Simply home function I'm writing. So what we are returning? We are returning just a div tag. This is home page. That's all. It's a simple message we are writing. This is home page. And simply export default home. Returning with the semicolon. We are just returning the function. We are just directly, you can return why all these things. Is a one. Okay. This is the home page. Like that, number of pages we will create. Number of pages. For example, one more page. It's like a contact.js. Suppose. Just copy paste. Giving that function is a contact. This is contact page. Export default that contact is a contact page. Number of pages. For example, I'm creating one more page. Is about page. It's the same story. Is about. This is about page. Export default this about. Like this. Sir, in case any error page, something is not found, we are just adding one more page called, suppose, not found page. Not found page. This is not found error page actually. In case any page is not available, then it is giving something like a 404 not found error. If the page is not found, just suppose it is executed. So 4 pages we have created by creating the 4 JS files. Now we need to create that main app. That app.js. How can we write all these things? We'll see. First point is import React from the ReactJS file. Next, we need to import. See how we are importing other pages. Suppose home functionality I want to import. From here, you need to specify like this from home page. This is module name. Sir, what is this module? Tell me. This is actually this home module, home.js. From that, we are importing that home component. Like that, all we are importing. All the four we are importing. Just about we are importing from the about. This is component name. Suppose contact, we are importing from the contact. These things also we have given capital letters only, that's why. Is a not found component we are importing from not found. Like this. The main things we imported. Next, as usual, we are writing the code for function app for this later, that is export default app. Now, what all the concepts we need to import, what all the classes we need to import, one by one, I'll explain. It has to return the complete router. The app has to return the complete router. What is that router? Here, router is there. It contains all the routes. Routes means actually previously we can call it as the switches that they updated to routes. All these things we need to import. So this import is important. Import all the components from the React. Not from the React. Full name I am giving from React router DOM. What is the package? Before running this, you need to install. I already told you the same thing, npm install. Here you need to first install. How? Npm install React router DOM. After this one only, you can run this code. Nothing but after this one only, this package is available module. From that we can collect. First one, the class is a browser router. Next one is like browser router as. This is like we are React as component and all. No? First, router is important. This is actually switch. Now change it to route. Next one, multiple, we call it as a routes, and link is also important. We'll see all. Okay. First, everything with the router, and you know that just as a division we are giving. Why? Because only that much only will affect, remaining will not affect. That's why we write everything in the div tag. Everything with the div tag we are writing. That is, here it is a div tag contains two concepts first. Two concepts. For moving from one place to another place, navigation links, and from where to where it has to move to represent with the routes. These two things important. One is a navigation. Second one is a routes. Sir, first one, what is that navigation? Navigation means linking from, all the links we have to show. So links we are representing with the list. Simply unordered list I am taking. Sir, how many list items are there? Home, about, contact, like this. Simply I am giving this first one, second one, first one, second one, and third one, and third one. In unordered list, total 3 links we need. Suppose home page, contact page, about us page. So by default, suppose it has to show that home page automatically, right? How can we represent that? You need to specify with the link, with the link. With this, you need to specify. Sir, which one is a home? Which one is a home? Next one. Next one. It has to show that about us. It has to show that about us. Message only this is. Next one, it has to show that contact. Contact like this pages. Home, about us, contact, like this we are taking. Free. But sir, whenever you click on home, to where? Link to, not href and all. Just link to where? Home page means what? Directly just slash. Slash. It's a default page. Automatically it will go. No. If it is about us, just link to. Here you need to specify about us page. About us page. Sir, here you have given small letter. No problem. Why I am giving small letter, I'll explain. To avoid your confusion, to here. Here I am just giving this. Go to the contact page. Go to the contact page. These links actually nothing but these URLs representing the routes here. Now each route you need to specify. Each route you need to specify. See, route, I am giving this route like this. Route like this. It's a like a non-empty element. Route like this. Because here no need to specify the values like this in route. Then how can you represent that route? What is the path you need to specify? Path is equal to slash. That is for home. How can you represent that home? With element. With element. Simply, you need to specify like this. We need to specify like this. In this one, home. See, the point is here whenever you are representing the slash, this will message on the screen on the web page. This will display on web page. This will display on web page. Anything you can write. Anything. These three links actually to represent this path. First route path is representing this. Second route path is representing that second one. Third route path is representing the third one. Is the second one and is the third one. So what is this? This is the second one. About. Lowercase also you are writing. These two should match. This one and this one. And next one, this one. Contact. This one and this one should match. But it is representing home. It will go to that home directly. Element is. And these three should match with these three. Home, about, contact. Is about. Is about. And is a contact. Is a contact. That is. In case if any other thing is there is a not form, that we'll see later. But first start with the simple example. Here, everything you need to represent with the router. If you write only routes, sir, I'm not writing this one. I'm not writing this one. I'm just put it in a. I'm just putting everything. We are not representing like this. I'll show. Suppose if you are not writing this one, directly what will happen? Directly what will happen? Look at this. Just route and div is also not required. If you specify only routes. As we are representing in the routes, the first route is representing the home page. And it is looking for the home page directly. Home page. That is showing as a default page. But you cannot navigate from one page to another page because links are not there. Because links are not there. See, directly it is representing that it is a home page. It is a home page, directly it is representing. Because no links are there to move from one place to another place. But if you add that div and links as it is, anyway, it will show the links. Not found is just unused, no problem. Now look at this. First, as usual, it is representing the home page. But once you go to that about us page, see now it is moving to the about us page. When you click on contact, it will move to the contact page. Like this, easily we can move from one page to another page. This is the simple way of moving. Okay, this is the way. So this is simply we call it as routing. How can we writing that? Means first you need to install that React router DOM. Right, completely everything is under router. Routes means what? Just to switch from one location to another location, you have to represent the paths here as a routes. But how you are linking routes? By using any navigation bar, you can represent. This is the simple way. Okay, try this one. I'll share the code and I'll upload the video. Okay, now only I'll upload the video. You please. Just will explain how to add CSS to this React file. Simply, first it will go to the ReactJS folder. It is slow. Now let me add this code. Suppose simply, first I'm creating one simple button. Here it is just import React from React. We are importing. Next one is a component we are writing just Name is a button component I am writing. Directly functional components I am writing to make it easy. And is the same export default is a button component. Now here I'm just returning. We need to return JSX. We need to return. We need to return one button. Just in a div, suppose I want to write one button. Simply button. Button name is a click me button I am writing. This button will show whenever we are executing this. Just npm start. It will start and it will show the button in a normal way. In a normal way, it will show the button. But for all the components, now I just want to add CSS. Separately, we need to take one file. So any file we are taking, new file I am creating so that you will understand. New file, just a file name I am giving my styles.css. Inside that CSS, just little button CSS we are adding. How we are adding means what? In this button, we need to represent class name. They're actually in CSS class. Here class name we need to provide. Any class name we are giving, we can use like a custom button like this. Generally they represents like this. So with that name custom button, you need to write that class. Simply dot custom button. You need to represent like this only. Dot custom button. Then here all the code you need to specify. All the code you need to specify. For example, background color. Background color. Suppose is a light blue if we are giving. Light sky blue we are giving. Light sky blue. It will show like this. And the color is a color. For example, is a background color is a red color we are showing. A red color. We are showing like this. And suppose is a padding. Some size, na? Size 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Height and width it will show like this. And something like no border. I don't want border. Suppose border, I'm just removing border. Whenever we are creating border radius, I am giving border radius in the sense like round corners will come, just like a 5 pixel. That is cursor, normal cursor hand it will show. I don't want handle. And pointer I want pointer. Suppose whenever we are executing this one, when you are executing this, now it will show that. Why it is not showing any wrong? Okay, that we need to import here. We need to import. You know how to import other file. In the last class also we have seen. Just dot is representing the same path. In that path, I have written my styles.css file. The file all you need to import. That's all. When you are executing this code, see border it is coming, padding, right? Color is it bold if you want to add. For button, just how we are adding CSS. In a simple way, we are representing that CSS. Like this, anything we can write. Suppose, sir, I want to create one link. Just I'm changing completely here. Small modifications only I'm doing. Sir, link component I'm taking. So, link component. Here I'm creating the link, sir. So, what is that link? What is that link? It's the same. How we are representing the link is a hyperlink. is a hyperlink. Link is also I am giving that click me that link. But link is what? Hyperlink reference we have to provide. Hyperlink reference. Just dummy reference I am giving. Hash. But here it is a class name I am providing. What is the name we are writing? Suppose like custom link I am creating. Custom link I am creating is giving the errors. Because in that my style CSS, custom link is not there. Custom link is not there. So we are adding to that custom link. Whenever the custom link color I'm writing like this. Custom link color I'm taking that green. Green I'm taking. That is. Next, text decoration. Text decoration means what mostly we use. Underline will be there, na? Underline will be removed when you use none. None. This is custom link. Sir, link actually, whenever we hover on the link, so custom link is representing that hyperlink, na? Hover. Whenever you hover on that. And here it is a color. We'll do like this. Background color is a green I am giving, and the color I am giving white. Text color I am giving white. Whenever you click on hover, then we are changing like this. Background color is a yellow, and foreground color is a green. Background color is a yellow, and that foreground color is a green. I am taking like this. Simply. Why it is showing that error? The keywords with warning. Okay, put aside. See the color. Look at this. Link the background color, and whenever you are changing, whenever you are moving the cursor, it is changing the colors. Simply. As of now, simple colors, how we are adding and all we are providing. That remaining we can do. Sir, suppose not only this one anchor, navigation list I am creating. Suppose consider. Like here it is, just I am giving my list component I am giving. I'm just giving that my list component. So list of values we need to specify. You know that how to specify is with the unordered list. Unordered list. Simply list is a home first one. Next one is a list contact. Next one is a list services. Like this is a about. Like this we are taking some list of values we are taking. Okay. Then for this list we are adding what is that name? Suppose I am giving that navigation list. With that name actually we will add. With that name we will add. So in this my list we need to write the code. Navigation list. What we have given, that navigation list we are given. Okay, sir, what is the type? First type is important. List type, style type. Right, not disk. I don't want any list type. None is a padding. So what is that padding? 0. Nothing but as it is, how it is present, same thing it will give. Same thing between the list. Or no, if you give some padding means what? You can give that padding. Here, normal list, navigation list. If you show here, it will show like this. it will be removed, that one. Color, sir. Color to the list we need to provide. Color, if you want to provide, you can provide to this one. But see, when you are giving that color, is a blue color I'm giving. Blue color I'm giving. Suppose, see, blue color it is coming. Blue color. Next one here, to the list what you want to do. Navigation list, list. That is, this is important. Mostly we use this one, display inline. Display inline. Inline means what? See, will come like this. Inline, side by side. Side by side will come. Right? After that, suppose if you want to change right side margin. Right side margin is not required. That's enough. That is. And whenever navigation list, actually whenever we list over, okay, then we are changing the color to something like a green color. That is. And the cursor also just pointer we are using simply. Suppose when you are executing with this, look at this green color changing. Green color, like this it is coming. Like this it is coming. Is a one. All these things we can simply do like this. Is anything. So sometimes, sir, for whenever you are creating the input field in form tag, for input fields also we need to create. For that, how can we? Something like I'm taking input field component. Input field component I will take. Just I'm creating the input field instead of all these things. Instead of all these things, just input type is equal to text. Input type equal to text. Any placeholder, I'm just giving. Placeholder is enter text. Just a placeholder we are giving. Placeholder. Now, along with this, just a class name we are giving. Class name. Just custom input. Custom input. Sir, how we need to change? Same. Go to the my styles. In my styles, then we are adding all these things. Like whatever the name we have given. Custom input we have given. In this custom input, for example, size we need to increase. Padding, suppose 10 pixels we are providing. 10 pixels. Sir, border I want to change. Border, suppose 1 pixel or 2 pixel I am giving. 2 pixel I am giving. Solid, something like a black or solid blue. Solid blue we are giving. Border radius I want to provide, suppose. Border radius, a 3 pixel border radius we are providing. When you're executing this, something will be like this. Padding inside the text, border radius 3, and the border color is a blue color like this. Blue color like this it is visible. Okay, that is. Whenever you are entering, see, outside it is showing like this. And whenever you are giving the text like this, it is showing in black color normally. Sir, whenever you are entering, I just want to change it. Then same one, custom input, but whenever you focus, whenever you need to write combined lines. Whenever you focus, then suppose outline, suppose we are removing, just consider outline removing. Then what we are doing, the border color we are changing. The border color something red color we are. Now observe this. When you focus like this, color is a red color. Is a red color, like this it will go. So instead of black color, it will do. Sir, suppose if you are removing this one, see, it's very simple. See, black color only, black color. The black color we are removing and adding the red color. That is important. Okay, try to understand that. Like for input fields, we can add. For like a small table, you can take. Mainly tables and navigation lists only important. Their buttons and links anyway we have seen. Suppose is a table component we are taking. Quickly I will add. Suppose is a table component, and you know that in that table, simply quickly I'm writing the code. Table table. It is not giving. In written, is it not showing? It's in a table. I'm just giving like a table head, table body also you can write that. It's called table head. In the table head, table headings we are giving name, and a table head. Just like email. Simply I'm giving like this. Next one is a table body I'm writing. Table body. In the table body, what you are writing? Table row. In first row, table data, the summer, and again table data, amar@gmail.com. @gmail.com. And again, one more row we are adding. In the table data is Annie. Annie@yahoo.in. Suppose we are writing the tables. Now to this table, we are adding the class name. Just like I am giving the custom table. That's all. That custom table code we are writing now in the my style CSS. My style CSS. Custom table code we are adding. Custom table code. So how we are adding that custom table code? Sir, full width I want. Width equal to 100%. 100%. It will be like this. Heading automatically centered, table header and data like this. Okay. Sir, the border I don't want. So border collapse. Because for individual border we are providing. Border collapse is just collapse. Is just collapse. Border I don't want. Then it will be like this. Border just removed. Next one is for heading. Custom table heading na. For table heading, for table data also. Table data also. Combinedly you can write like this. Now I am giving the border. Double border it will collapse. Border is just 1 pixel border. Solid blue color you can give. Simply. Padding. Padding means what? Gap between, that you know already. Now it will be like this. Look at this. With the 10 pixel padding, with the border, small border added, is taking that 100% width. Sir, suppose here it is for table heading separately. Custom table heading. I want to change the background. Background color is a green color. yellow color I want to give, yellow green. That is. Now if you want to look at this, why is not applicable? Background color is not there. Custom, no, is missing. Yes, like this. For body color also, suppose if you want to change it to blue color or something, you can change and align it to center and all we can. So mostly like this we are adding. So based on that, what we will do that complete web page, complete home page we will create using that ReactJS that I'll explain. Okay, practice only this much.